Welcome to my channel Living Linux. In this video I want to have a look at some turbo models for text to image, and as you can see here it's going to be based on models that are based on Stable Diffusion XL. So I found this link on Reddit. It's already 8 months ago, and it's an article about some Korean students, and looks like also a professor, that made a smaller model based on Stable Diffusion XL, and usually smaller models, they are faster. And of course what people try to achieve is that even though the models are smaller, that it doesn't have a significant impact on the quality. So in layman's terms, you could say that they try to apply JPEG compression on an image, and usually when you just have a casual look at a JPEG image, that it will look reasonable quality. And of course, as soon as you start pixel peeping, that you can start seeing the compression artifacts. But as I said, for a casual look, the quality usually is okay. So you could say in layman's terms, that's what they try to do with those models. Now, the model is publicly available. Unfortunately, I was not able to get it running, because I'm not that experienced with AI models. So it's available on Hugging Face. And as you can see, that they used SDXL Lightning as the teacher model. And then they ended up with a 1 billion parameter model file and a 700 million model file. It's trained to generate images 1024 by 1024. And they say that it can generate an image in less than a second on an NVIDIA 4090. Now, as I said, I wasn't able to get this running, so I decided to get to the teacher model, SDXL Lightning, that is derived from Stable Diffusion XL. So ByteDance, they did some training on the model, and it is sort of like a competitor to Stable Diffusion XL Turbo. Now they have several models, 2-step, 4-step, 8-step. They also have single step, but that seems to be a bit experimental. And the advantage with SDXL Lightning is that they have a ComfyUI workflow. So you can just download that. It's a JSON file. And it actually looks quite similar to the default workflow that you get with with ComfyUI. But there are some differences with the parameters in the sampler step. And here it says the 1-step model is only experimental. So if you go to the files and versions, yeah, so you can see you can do 2-step, 4-step, 8-step. I've never really worked with UNet and LoRa. That's perhaps something for the future. But you can just download these model files that don't have LoRa or UNet in the name. And actually, Stability AI, yeah, they have a turbo version, and that one is aimed at just generating image in one step. So here we have ComfyUI. So let's just say that yeah, this is the default workflow. So let's just load the Lightning workflow. So here you can see they say use the Euler sampler and SGM uniform for the scheduler, and CFG 1 is the fastest. A CFG stands for Classifier-free guidance. Now that was something that so far I never had to play around with, and well, what we can do is, so here we have 4-step, let's just use 2-step. So it's trained for 1024 by 1024, girl smiling. So when we say cue the prompt, and then in the terminal you can see what is happening. And well, I'm running this on an AMD Ryzen 8845HS. Oh, whoops, that's not what I had in mind, because I'm using the 2-step, and actually the steps are 4. So, but we'll just let it run and see what happens. And yeah, of course, with a dedicated GPU, it will be much quicker. But I think just running it on a CPU, it's acceptable. So here's, you can also see where you are in the process. So it has done the 4 steps. Now it's just generating an image. And here we have a girl smiling. Well, the teeth look a bit funky, but as I said, with a casual look at the image, it looks okay. And of course, as soon as you start pixel peeping, yeah, you will see some problems. Also here, this white speck doesn't look natural. But again, a casual glance and the image looks okay. Now, if we clear this, and I also tried Stable Diffusion XL Turbo, so we can just lower this to 1 step. And this CFG is set to 8. But for those turbo models, that's actually not good. But let's just say a photo of a penguin on a surfboard. But yeah, the turbo model is quite fast, even if you just run it on a CPU like the AMD Ryzen 8845HS. And here you can see that, yeah, it really looks weird. So when we set it to, for instance, 1, and we generate an image again, and now it looks a whole lot better. Now, Stable Diffusion XL Turbo is trained for 512 by 512. They say that you can use it to generate larger images, but oops, yeah, I didn't have really good results with that. So I think with Stable Diffusion XL Turbo, it's better just to generate 512 by 512 and just use an upscaler. So yeah, the penguin looks a bit weird, and yeah, it also gives me the feeling that it doesn't know what to do with the extra space. So yeah, you could say that if you just take a quarter, then it has the penguin more centered, and now yeah, it's almost as if it doesn't know what to do with the extra space. So like I said, with Stable Diffusion XL Turbo, it's better just to generate 512 by 512 and just use an upscaler if you want to have a bigger image. Although in this case, well, the penguin at least is more centered, but I don't think this surfboard is as it is supposed to be. But yeah, these things can happen with turbo models. That they take some shortcuts. So just coming back to the Lightning model. So in this case, 2 steps. So we go to 2 steps and need to keep a low CFG. And I think that they said you need to have the STM uniform scheduler. And yeah, just as a comparison, we can also do 512 by 512, but yeah, also here I have the impression that the model really prefers 1024 by 1024. So it's not really a penguin on a surfboard, or although perhaps you can say that this might be a very small surfboard. But if we go to 1024 by 1024 and we generate an image with that, so again, I think it's best to use these models with image sizes that they're really trained for, and just scale it up or down if you need a smaller or larger image. So it should be here. Okay. So I think this this looks a whole lot better. And yeah, I will also put this link in the description of the video, and it will explain a bit more about classifier-free guidance. And yeah, here they say that usually it's advised to stay between 7 and 10, but when you're using fast sampling models, yeah, just try to stay between 1 and 2. So yeah, perhaps people that are more experienced with AI, that this is like very basic knowledge, but yeah, for me this is also a journey. And yeah, I also noticed that there are some people that are, let's just say, just as inexperienced as I am, and that it is valuable information for them. So yeah, it's also a journey for me. So I don't know what my next video is going to be on AI, but yeah, I just try to make one step at a time, and let's just say, who knows where we will be in 12 months from now. So that's all for now, and hope to see you again in my next video.